Thank you for tuning in. Sean writes in from BC. He writes in, it says, I've been listening since November 2nd on AM 730 Mojo Radio. Your show is by far the best, most practical show on the air. He says, I believe that you are truly God, because you seem to know how things actually work in the real world. Anyway, I need your advice on something, and I have problems getting through to you on the phone, so hopefully email will be better. First of all, I am 23, and I'm not a pussy anymore. Back in July, before I knew of your infinite wisdom, I was banging this girl just for pleasure. And she told me she was on the pill, so I never bothered using condoms. Mistake number one. I stopped banging her at the end of August, as I came to realize that this stupid blonde broad was a little too crazy for my liking. She kept calling me up to have sex, and I wasn't about that. But she kept calling. Now, while we were banging, she also had a boyfriend for the last few years who I knew about, but being a normal guy, I didn't care about it. Now, in December, she called me up and said that she just found out she was pregnant. She said the ultrasound showed that the child was conceived in August. She then said that if I keep my mouth shut and never talk about it, she'll never bother me to be the father. She wants her boyfriend to be the father because they're engaged. But I'm not sure that the child is his or mine. Obviously, after listening to your show, I don't want to be a father to a bastard child. And I don't want that crazy bitch in my life screwing me for child support. When she called me, in fact, I think she was trying to ruin my Christmas and was making it up because she said to call her in the new year to talk about it some more. Well, I have moved back to Vancouver Island, and I have not bothered calling her because I don't want to talk to her. What should I do? Get a lawyer? Should I call her up and threaten to tell her fiancé? Should I have a paternity test done? And if so, who has to pay for the test? Anyway, I hope you have the time in your busy schedule to send me a reply. Please save me from paying for the next 18 years. And yes, I always use a condom now. I'm trying to come up with a plan to have a vasectomy done even though I'm 23. Sincerely, Sean. A lot of questions there, Sean. I'm not an attorney, and by the way, I don't know the law in Canada, and I don't really have good answers for all of that. I will tell you that in the States, I'd have an attorney anyway. And I would at least ask the attorney what my options are, okay? Because here is what could happen. Sometime in the next 18 years, she might break up with the guy she's with now. In fact, odds are she will. And it's entirely possible 7 years in, 8 years in, 10 years in, that she would come to you. Now, again, I don't know how it works in Canada. I don't know how it works in British Columbia, but I can tell you how it works here. 10 years from now, she could come to you and say, guess what? You're the father. And then she could make you take a DNA test, and then you could be responsible for years and years and years of child support. Because in this country, the United States, they add up all the money you've owed over the years. They figure out how much you made. They calculate it according to a formula. Then they add interest to the money you haven't paid. And this right is basically unlimited. I mean, a woman can come to you the day before the 18th birthday of her child and say, guess what? You owe me 18 years of child support. So, you should at least have a lawyer to tell you what your rights are and to advise you on the next step to take. Don't do this without a lawyer. If you can afford a lawyer, go get a lawyer. And in fact, if you can't afford a lawyer, work overtime, make a few extra bucks, and spend the money it'll cost to get a good attorney for an hour. In Canadian dollars, what are you going to pay? $400, $500? Worth it. Worth it. Trust me. Now, getting away from the legalities of the situation, yes, you were stupid not to use condoms. And I must repeat something I've said over and over and over on this show. Never, ever, ever believe a woman when she says, I'm on the pill. The doctor said I can't have children. I got the shot. I mean, the only birth control you can verify with your own eyes is Norplant. That's it. Ever been with a girl with Norplant? I have. Several long, narrow bumps under her arm. You can feel them. You can touch them. You can see them. It's inserted under the skin. It's the only birth control you can see. Even a diaphragm, if you use it without the right contraceptive jelly, it doesn't do a bit of good. A woman could fool you by using a diaphragm and lubricating it with like KY jelly with no spermicide. And you're taking a big risk. Never believe a woman when she says she's on birth control or she can't get pregnant. Always use a condom 100% of the time. If you don't, you will get nailed at some point. You will. Maybe you haven't already, but you will. Not to mention the fact you are running the risk of catching all the diseases out there, and really who gives a rat's ass about the rest of them except like for HIV or herpes that can't be cured. Okay, come on. Please. This doesn't make any sense to me at all. Okay, so you didn't use condoms, you believed her, and now she's stirring up the crap here. Now, taking the legality out of this, and please make a note that I said I'm taking the legality out of this. I'm just talking about my feelings here. If she gave you the option to just shut up and let the boyfriend be the father, and she's going to put the boyfriend on the birth certificate as the father, and he accepts it and he doesn't sue, I mean, really, all you have to do, I don't know what the law is in Canada, but in many states of the United States, I mean, you know, you just keep it quiet for a year or two, and if their marriage lasts, even if they later find out you're the father, he's the father. Because he'd be having the kid while they're married or whatever. You know, she puts him down as the father. That's the way the law generally works. The poor schmuck will end up having to pay. By the way, you don't even know if he is the father. Maybe he is. Maybe you're not. It's all stuff you should talk about with your attorney. If I were you, and again, I continue to say, no matter what my big mouth says here, get an attorney. Don't pay any attention to my personal opinion here. But I'll give it for entertainment purposes only. If I were you and somebody said to me, while I was with you, I was also with my boyfriend, and I got pregnant, it could be yours, it could be his, but I want him to be the father, just shut up about it and not bother you, I would take that offer and run with it. I don't want to know. I don't want to get involved. I don't care. I don't want any part of it. Head for the hills, baby. But again, remember, and I can't say this enough times, and I know you morons don't listen to me when I tell you stuff. That is just basically an emotional, visceral opinion, and you should be really talking to an attorney about what you ought to be doing. But I'll tell you what, if I had an opportunity like that, I want my boyfriend to be the father, so you just shut up about it and I'll never bother you, and he'll be the father, he'll never know the difference. Great. Sold. That's reasonable, isn't it? The Tom Leykis Show. At 1-800-5800-TOM. Lee on a cell phone. Hello.
Hey, Tom, how are you, man?
Hi, Lee.
Hey, I know all about this situation. This, my ex, shall we say, from many years back, screwed me the same way. Same way. I paid for everything and I'm still paying to this day. This guy needs to get an attorney and needs to get one fast. Cause
yep.
He's gonna Go ahead.
No, I agreed with you. I said, yeah.
Yeah, I had to get a paternity test. I paid for it. She didn't pay nothing. Attorney fees, I paid for hers and mine. $800 a month. They wanted $920. It's garnished out of my wages. I have no choice. So tell this guy to head for the hills and get a lawyer ASAP.
Yep. I agree.
This guy is so screwed. So screwed.
I know.
All right, Tom. Can you blow me up?
Of course I can. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Shelley on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Shelley.
You know, I just wanted to tell you, I know you always say use condoms, and I absolutely agree, but I want to let some people know that even the Norplant, even if you see it under her arm, it doesn't mean it's still active.
That's right. It could have worn out by now because it could last, 5 years?
I don't know.
I think it's 5 years or something like that. And
so
yes, and then you have to have them removed, and then you can have new ones put in. You were absolutely right. And again, I reiterate what I said before: 100% of the time, men should wear condoms unless they feel like paying some stranger for the next 18 years.
Or dying of some disease.
Right.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Shelley. Good point. 1-800-5800-TOM. JR on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, JR.
How you doing?
Pretty damn good.
Good. Hey, listen, this guy's screwed over for the next 18 years. I think he should take the deal that she gave him and have it notarized and probably even have...
Well, even if it's notarized, the point, here's the thing. She can put it in writing. She can agree. If she decides later on to claim child support from this guy, he's screwed, at least in the United States. Again, he's writing in from Canada. And I don't know what the laws are, but I can't imagine they're that different. I do know that in the United States, a woman could say, "Don't worry, here, sign this, and you'll never hear from me again." And then later on, if she decides to change her mind, she can.
Yeah.
It's the one area where somebody can sign a written agreement as an adult, knowing what they're doing, and defraud you, and later on come back and go, "I changed my mind."
Right. All right, Tom, that's all I want to say. Can you take me out with a screaming orgasm and senior JFK?
Oh, JFK Senior style. Of course. Here you go, JR.
Oh, God. Oh, yes.
1-800-5800-TOM. Monica on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hi, Monica.
First-time caller, long-time listener.
Long-time listener, first-time caller.
I just wanted to call and say I don't understand how us as women get the choice to decide if you get a kid. I don't get it. I haven't understood it. Why do I get all the power?
Well, the reason, I'll tell you what the reason is. The reason is because it's you who has to harbor that squatter for 9 months.
Well, then it should be my decision to do it, then I shouldn't put it off on you, right?
Well, it's your decision to have it, but
exactly.
then...
If I choose to have it and you didn't want it, why do you have to pay for it?
Well, I do believe that you should be able... I believe you should be able to sign a document that says, I won't contact you. I won't contact the child. I don't want any visitation. I don't want to see you. In exchange, I won't give you any money. You should be able, as adults in the United States, to sign such a document.
You should be adults to make the decision if you're going to have sex to have a kid.
No
as
doubt.
A woman. As a woman.
No doubt about it.
If I have sex, I make the decision to have a child.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to have a child. But I'm not going to make that man make the decision too.
Yep.
Right?
Good point.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you, Monica. 1-800-5800-TOM. Michael on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Michael.
I just think that if it were me, if there was any chance some other guy was going to be raising my kid, I'd want to step in. That doesn't mean I'd have to marry her or be with her or anything, but I don't want some other...
Come on, is it really worth all the crap you're going to have to put up with?
What crap?
Look, well, for example, what do you think that guy is going to say when he finds out that you might be the father?
That's her problem.
No, it's your problem. Because if he leaves her, who do you think is going to have to pay the child support for 18 years?
But if it's my kid and I'm paying child support, I also have inherent rights with that. I have a right to say where this kid's going to live, where it's going to go to school.
Well, you have rights if you prove you're the father. Of course.
Well, that's what I mean. I just want to know, and if it's my kid and it comes back positive, I want to be involved again. I'm not saying I'm going to marry this gal. No way.
Well, if you want to pay for that right and you understand how much that's going to cost.
I'm just like your average lion in the woods. I don't want some other lion taking care of my cub. You know what I mean?
So it's just like kind of this visceral caveman kind of attitude.
Well, it's my kid. I don't want some other schmo.
You don't even know if it's your kid, and even if it is, if you want to spend that kind of money, well, go for it.
And if
But now the chick you were banging while she was engaged to somebody else is going to be in your life, and that's the other thing. Forget the kid. This woman is in your life now. After you've broken up her engagement, after you've broken up her marriage, now you have to deal with her. Now, that woman who you effed over can now take you to court, ask for increases all the time, harangue you and harass you, stop you from getting your visitation, move to other states. You have to chase after her. I mean, your whole life becomes a disaster. And if you don't know anybody who's gone through it, pal, maybe you ought to talk to some people who have.
I'm a single dad. I've gone through it.
And you're happy about that?
All I'm happy about is that I have a pretty big influence in my child's life. And you know what they say, you never want to be out-lawyered. You go in there, you have a good case, you help take care of your kid, you move on with your life.
Everybody can't afford a good lawyer, pal. You know what? Most guys get screwed in this case.
I'm like you. I had to go out and get a second job like you were telling that other guy to do. All I'm saying is a woman like that, she's going to go off and get some other guy anyways. She ain't going to be in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, if it ends up not my kid, that other guy should know. I'm doing him a favor that he's got some scoundrel for a woman. You know what I mean?
Well, again, we're not worried about what you're doing for him. I'm worried about what you're doing for yourself.
Well, again, I wouldn't want someone. If you had a kid, you wouldn't want me raising your kid. You'd want something to do about that, wouldn't you?
No.
Oh,
if you're paying the bill, I don't even want to know. And by the way, EDZ, I'm telling you, it's not out of the realm of possibility. But the number of women I've banged over the years, it is not out of the realm of possibility that some guy out there right now is paying to raise my kid.
Trust me,
that's
possible. Found you by now.
The point is, there are women who just say, I'm not going to tell him. I don't want, he don't want to know. You want to be involved. I don't want him involved. I don't want him telling me what to do. It's entirely possible.
I hear what you're saying. I don't want to take care of some other woman, but I would always want to take care of my own child. That's just the way I feel. You know what I mean?
By the way, are you sure you're the father of that child?
Absolutely.
You had DNA test done on it?
Yeah, everything's done.
Okay.
Everything's done.
Yeah.
But, I just wouldn't want to drop the kid off the side of the road. You know?
I understand. Michael? The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Dave on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello.
How are you, buddy?
Do you care, Dave?
I do care.
I'm doing great.
You're doing great. That's good. Let me just first off say I'm an avid listener of your show. And while some radio personalities occasionally spew pearls of wisdom, you spew pearl necklaces of wisdom. I'm calling in because I'm sort of in a similar situation as the last guy that was on there. I listened to a woman who told me she was on the pill when she wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And come to find out, she gets pregnant, she has a kid, and boom, slaps me for child support right away.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, isn't that great? I'm just saying all women are liars, and that guy, that deal that she offered him, don't say anything, she won't say anything.
Uh-huh.
There's no guarantee she's going to stick with that deal, Tom. Women lie professionally. It's what they do for a living.
Of course. But but here's the thing. If you think it all the way through, you might as well go along with it because she'll win either way. I mean, the fact is, if she says don't say anything, and you don't say anything, you haven't lost anything.
Very true. I would definitely say that is his best option right now.
Yep.
I just wanted to call in, give him my support, tell him I know where he's coming from, and say hello to everybody listening to you.
Thank you, Dave.
All right. Well, thank you, Tom. Can you take me out with the bong toke?
Here it comes, Dave.
No cough.
Paul on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
How's it going, Tom?
All right, Paul.
Super good. Okay, I kind of have a little predicament. I was doing, which I didn't hear about you. I was living in Tennessee.
Right.
We didn't have you out there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sleeping with this girl, dating her for about 3 months without a condom. She said she wasn't supposed to be able to get pregnant. She was married at the time, going to get a divorce. He was in Michigan. Well, she got pregnant. It was mine. Well, during the pregnancy, we were together off and on, breaking up. We had the baby. And for the birth certificate, they wouldn't put me on because she was still married legally.
Mm-hmm.
So the baby had to take his last name. Well, she went back to him, and now what I do is when I can, I pay $75 for child support. I try to do it as much as I can.
This is voluntary? It's not ordered by a court? Okay.
Oh, just voluntary. I put down on the little 4 spot on the check, child support.
Mm-hmm.
So in case they ever split up and she tries to hit me with it, I'll have records showing that I did pay her.
Uh-huh.
To cover me on that.
Yes. But you don't even know for sure it was yours, do you?
Not for sure the timing that we were together.
Yeah, but you see, you talk about the timing. How do you know she didn't bang two guys in one night, you and somebody else?
I was living with her.
How do you know she didn't bang somebody at work?
True.
You don't know.
Right. Besides the baby looks like me, other than that.
Yeah, but who knows? Maybe she likes guys who look like you.
Could be true. And the other question I had was, you were talking, I think it was a pre-recording last week, about the hyphenated last names. Mm-hmm. I want to put my last name with my little girl. It's a girl. I want to put my last name there, but she wants to keep her husband's last name as hyphenated.
Does her husband know that you're paying child support?
Yes.
And he's okay with that?
Right. He knows it's mine and everything.
All right. Well, there's nothing you can do. Is he the father?
No.
Is he listed as the father on the birth certificate?
No. Mother refused information. But the baby had to take her mother's legal last name, which was his name.
Yeah, but that's my point. I mean, you can't make her do that. You're not listed as the father.
Well, no, she won't let me.
She will let you.
Yeah, I've just got to pay the.
Why would you want to do that?
To put my last name on it.
Why?
With my last name.
Is this an ego thing?
No, it's just this is my daughter, type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she doesn't have my last name or anything.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about that?
First of all, I don't like hyphenated last names.
Right.
Second of all, she has a father. You don't even know if you're the father.
True.
If they get divorced, you could end up paying for his child.
Well, if she ever did actually come for me with the court fees, or tried to bring me into court for the child support and everything, I would go and have a test done.
Oh, at that time. But in the meantime, how much money will you have spent? How much time will you have spent worrying about this?
I spent about $150 a month.
And I don't care how much, $150 a month. How much do you make?
Make about $1,000.
So you spend 15% of your gross income?
Oh, clear escort.
Yes.
15% of your gross. That's your gross. You gross $1,000 a month.
Yes.
So what's your net income?
I bring home probably roughly about I think it's about $800.
800. So you spend about 18% of your take-home pay on a kid you don't even know if it's yours. And you try to make it sound like it's not much money.
Well, for the bills that I have.
Hey, but Paul, you're only 20. Do you live in your own place?
No.
That's my point. Are you planning on living with your parents the rest of your life?
No.
Yeah, but guess what? It doesn't seem like much now. How much is it going to seem like if you had to get your own apartment?
It'd be a lot. I mean,
yeah, you're damn straight it's a lot. If you're living with your parents, that's money you ought to be putting away for you. By the way, what college are you going to? Let me guess. None.
I'm not. No.
Ah.
Well, I am on a volunteer fire department, which I'm going through schooling with the volunteer to become a firefighter.
Uh-huh.
They pay for all my schooling that way.
Right.
EMT school, all the courses I've got to get certified for. The fire department will pay that I'm on.
But there's no guarantee that you're going to get a job.
Right.
Have you looked at the economy lately? You looked at the unemployment rate?
It's pretty high.
Yeah, and you're going without college.
Right.
Uh-huh. Why?
I was never good in school.
Uh-huh.
I'm not one for studying or anything.
Hang on a second here. Let me get Robert on here. Robert, what did you want to say to Paul?
Paul, you're an idiot. You're a complete moron. First of all, number one, if she decides to take you to the cleaners on the child support, you've already given up the line. You don't even have to do a test at all. You've already admitted that you're the father by paying your child support when you might not even be the father. You're screwed. You're automatically the father since you've been paying child support. And you might not even be the father. It's ridiculous. Number two, I mean, geez, man, can't you just get ahead of yourself in life? Go off and bang some other chick who actually is going to raise the child with you, so they actually will be able to be a father to your child instead of being like this wimpy guy who just throws money at something that he doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Okay. Well, I mean
save your money.
Well, if she does hit me though, let's say they get married, they stay married for 10 years. 10 years later, she comes back and tries to hit me for back child support.
All right, you know what? How about this? Instead of doing what you're doing, you could have taken that $75, thrown it into a market account, a money market, saved up that money, saved it up, and by the time the kid's 18, guess what? No child support coming. Gee, golly gosh, I can retire now.
Hey, he makes a very good point. Instead of giving the money to this bitch, you could be putting it in the bank. And then if she came at you later, you got the money.
Right.
If she doesn't, you got the money.
Exactly. Don't give away your money without having any reason to. It's like planning the worst case scenario. Like if I go driving down the street, I'm going to run into another car, so I'm going to have to make sure I wear padding on the inside of my car. You're acting like an idiot, dude. Just quit paying the money. Get yourself a woman who's going to have a child with you and marry you and become a father if that's what you want, because that's what you want. That's what you seem to care about.
By the way, Paul, can I ask you a question? Are your parents still together?
My real father left my mom, but my stepfather's been there for 16 years.
Case closed.
Yeah. Bottom line,
in other words, history repeats itself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Actually, you shouldn't have any more kids. You already screwed up once. We don't need another screw-up.
I don't plan on having one until I'm at least married for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, well, you didn't plan on having that one, Paul.
True. Well, I'm taking all the precautions now.
Well,
why weren't you taking them before, if I may ask?
Just the whole, I thought, I understood. I was younger. I was like 17, 18. The whole she couldn't get pregnant.
Why would you believe something like that?
Well, it's never going to happen to him, right?
You were stupid. Okay. So now you wear a condom 100% of the time?
Yes, sir.
Uh-huh. Do you bang single mothers?
No, I try to stay away from them.
Uh-huh. Okay.
I've been listening to you for about 7-8 months, and I'm trying to follow all your rules.
Well, start becoming more of a jerk, will you?
Oh, my ex-girlfriend, when I just break up, she hates me because of you.
I'll bet she does.
I am. She hates you, but we were talking the other day. The only reason why she hates you is because you speak the truth.
You damn straight. The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM. Dave on a cell phone. You're on the Tom Leykis Show.
Yeah, hi, Tom.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, I just wanted to comment on one of your callers there, I don't know, a little while back. He said, he wanted to have influence on the way his children are brought up. I couldn't agree with that guy more. I can't imagine. I've got 4 kids of my own, and I can't imagine not coming home and listening to what my kids did at the end of the day and, just telling me what went on in their life. I can't imagine some other guy telling my kids, what's right and what's wrong. And, I've listened to some of your other callers also, and, I guess there was a guy who's paying $75 a month for child support.
Actually, he's paying $150 a month, yeah.
Or paying $150 a month. If I didn't have my kids, I'd be a millionaire. I mean, I don't know what kids only cost $150 a month.
Well, in his case, it's all he has.
Well, yeah, I understand that's all he has, and I mean, if that's all he has, what's he doing going out and getting some girl knocked up? I mean, in my opinion, we all know how women get pregnant. It's pretty simple. And,
Yeah, but in his case, he was 17, and she lied and said she couldn't get pregnant, and he believed her. He was 17.
Who can't get pregnant? Well, I guess that's his
Women
fault.
say, I'm on the pill, I'm using the diaphragm, I got the shot, doctor says I can't conceive, blah, blah, blah. And 17-year-old boys believe that stuff.
Yeah, wow.
Remember, he was 17. You're 36. He was 17.
Yeah. Well, I know when I was 17, I wouldn't believe. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on, how stupid you are or how smart you are.
At 17, we're all stupid. Let me tell you, we're all stupid.
Yeah, well, you're probably right about that. But, men out there, they need to take responsibility for what they do. A kid is not to be taken light.
Well, but isn't it interesting how only men are required to be responsible? The woman in this case says, I have a boyfriend. I'm going to put him down as the father. Don't say anything.
Well, yeah.
And so it's perfectly okay for a woman to act that way, but when a man dares to say, I don't want to get involved in that, everybody attacks him, including men like you.
Right. Well, I mean, listen.
How about going after a woman who had a boyfriend or a fiancé and was banging some other guy on the side and gets knocked up by the guy on the side? What about her? Do you have anything to say about her?
She ought to be shot, in my opinion.
All right, but I had to drag it out of you.
Well, no, believe me.
The first guy you go after is the guy. First person you go after is the guy.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. I'm not all for these women that are going out and trying to get whatever they can out of an ex-boyfriend just to spite them or just because they're mad at them. There's a lot of women out there that are like that. But there's a lot of women out there that are not like that, and there's just a bunch of guys out there who are just going around knocking women up, and they don't care what happened. And, it shouldn't be like that. Like I said, until you have your own kids, you don't understand what it's like to say. I mean, I look at my kids, and I'd do anything for my kids.
You live with your kids. I assume you live with the mother of your kids. I assume you live as a family. That's different from having a one-night stand at 17 with somebody who's engaged to somebody else who tells you she can't get pregnant, and then she does. It's a lifetime of horror. Horror.
Absolutely.
It's the worst. The Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. This is Josh on a cell phone. Hello.
Hey, Tom, this is Josh from California here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out something that actually happened to me. When I was 12 or 13, my mother had married someone else, my stepfather, and I took his last name because he had actually become my father. My mother, when I was a child, signed my rights, his rights over. He had signed his rights over to her in exchange for not having to pay child support. But when we actually went through the process, the judge actually told us that his rights were never lost, no matter what paper we signed. He was still required to be there and dispute if he wanted to dispute the name change. And so that paper, if someone's saying to sign some paper, it holds no water in the state of California, and most states are about the same. Mm-hmm. Now, I also had some insight about my wife working in a hospital, and if your name is on the birth certificate, whether you're the father or not, you are legally bound to pay child support.
Well, you have a year in most states, and some states too, to prove you're not the father. But it's very hard to, they have it set up so that the woman can send you notice at your last known address. And many times women put the last known address as their own address, and then the notice comes, they tear it up. That's what they do. It's unbelievable.